We're streaming this on Twitch.
YouTube.
Oh, nice.
And all right, we are streaming. Let me let everybody know we're here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, well, let's go ahead and do this thing. Here we go. I'm going to play some music. You guys might not hear it. You might. My soundboard is real weird with Zoom, but we have an awful theme song, so we'll get into it. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitch, it's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head, Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch, heard what I said. Drop that ass, open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. Open micers in the house, open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins, and my usual co-pilot is not going to be with us tonight. So it's just going to be me flying this ship solo, and hopefully we won't crash. But I do have returning guest with us here to help me kind of steer this thing a little bit. Up first, we have the wonderful, the one and only Mr. Tech Johnson. Say hello.
Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I feel like y'all's homeless friend.
Yeah. Well, you're coming into us from the garage where you have to go out there to smoke because you're not allowed to in the house.
Like, but it's like parts of adulthood. It's like you can't tell me what to do. Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
And also we have joining us Mr. Mike Honore.
Oh, hello. Coming at you live from a closet.
Yeah.
But here we are.
I see you're a shoe aficionado from the looks of it, right?
Yeah, there. I didn't mean to show it like this at all.
That's a weird flex.
This is the nicest cutout I have, there where it's quiet and I can just be here, but also flex.
Yeah,
like
really not the intention, but also it works very nice.
So let me ask you something. I've never been into like the whole shoe thing. Like when you have that many shoes, like I have like 3 pairs of shoes. I have one regular everyday pair. I have the the work shoes, and then I have the one good pair of shoes that I wear to like weddings and funerals and stuff. So how does one get into the whole shoe thing? Like, because it just seems like an expensive hobby.
Oh no, it is. It's expensive. A lot of it's not all expensive shoes. A lot of it, I like to keep it. I'm kind of OCD, so keeping them in boxes keeps it organized. Yeah. But I have shoes I don't wear, shoes I wear all the time. I have like occasional shoes.
What's your favorite pair?
Oh Jesus. It's like asking me my favorite child I don't have. I don't know. As I'm older, I kind of like comfort. So I have some like really thick. I have some like New Balance shoes that just feel so good on my feet.
So
I have Jordans.
Your age is like starting to pick your shoes for you. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the flex I learned. Insoles.
I was just about to ask, like, have you gotten to the age where you got the Dr. Scholl's inserts yet? Because I've got them in all my shoes.
I have them in a lot of my shoes. I mean, it would be a whole nother expense to put all insoles in all these shoes. But I do take them in and out. I do have like, some of like the good insoles, they are too expensive. But yeah, a lot of these I just wear. I mean, I have all the things. I have like, these are white sneakers for a fun beach wedding, as if I go to those. But the comfortable ones, the fun ones, the expensive ones, the ones I've like had for years. Some I've traded, some I've it's too many. It's really one of those things where it's a hobby of poor kid who isn't rich but can't afford shoes.
Yeah.
I get that.
It's one of those you didn't have them when you were younger, and now nobody can tell you otherwise. So you live in a small place so you can have more shoes.
That's why I smoke weed.
What about you, Tech? What does your shoe game look like these days?
Did you say what do my shoe game look like?
Yeah, what does your shoe game look like these days?
I have 3 pairs of shoes. I have a pair of Vans that I'm not supposed to wear at work, but I do. I have a red pair of Chucks that I wear to shows and also wear to the gym. And I have a pair of sneakers that are a size too small for when I lie to myself and tell me I'm going to go like hiking, but I don't. So yeah,
where do you
my
go?
shoe game,
dude, you can't hike. You're from Florida. There's no hiking in Florida.
No, there's running through the forest. there's I've made a mistake as I walk into the woods and find a cougar or some shit. Like
that's surviving the game. You're Ice-T at that point.
Hell yeah.
Like that's
oh my god, yo, shouts out to you. You know how rare it is that people would talk about that movie?
I love that movie, but I love
that movie too.
I have a whole. I enjoy the Deadliest Game type movies. I always have. There's one.
So did you just become best friends?
Yes. Also,
yes.
I have to say, I think it's hilarious that they have 2 of the biggest black comics they can find on Martin Luther King Day.
Hey, I didn't. Did you guys plan that? Is that why Jacob dipped?
Actually, I was gonna bust Jacob's ass tonight about how come whenever we have black people on the show, they got to come on in groups. Why can't we just do individual interviews?
Which is funny because they usually don't want black people in groups.
Yeah, it's like I feel like y'all are trying to build something, like trying to start a black comedian union. Like,
I think between me and Tech, this counts as like at least 3.5 black dudes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's like 3 black dudes and at least like 1 mixed one. Like that's kind of scary.
Yeah, just like somebody. You count. I guess.
Jason's just the cream in our Oreo cookie today.
Delicious.
I don't even know where to go with that. Speaking of Ice Cube, everything that happened last week, like with Katt Williams and everything, and Ice Cube came out and put a video out about, like, have you guys been following all that stuff that's been going down? With all
I feel like we have to as black comedians. I don't always want to, but I feel like I'm like it's mandatory. In case like I'm quizzed by another black comedian. It's like, how do you feel about it? I'm like, God damn it. Well, this is my thesis on Steve Harvey. Like, but it's intense, but it's really cool. Like, it's fun to watch and hear about it from other comedians, like especially younger comedians. I'm like, well, how do you feel about people stealing jokes? I'm like, yeah, bad comedians steal jokes. That shit happens. Like, it's like cheating pitchers. Like,
it really, it's funny. It is weird hearing from new comics who who don't even really know Kings of Comedy that well. So like their perspective on Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and all that is completely. They only know Steve Harvey from like Family Feud.
Yeah.
So they don't even. You don't even know that. And you like Katt Williams, you don't know, like, I don't know what Katt Williams you know. I don't even think you know Friday After Next.
Right.
Or Pimp Chronicles. It's like they just know like the myth of Katt Williams. So a lot of people are like, who is this dude even talking about and who is he? Like, dude, this Katt Williams, like,
it's like when he talked about Mark Curry, I could tell people were like, who the hell is Mark Curry? I'm like, Mark Curry was the shit back in the day. But also, I could see him getting his shit stolen. It was kind of cool watching. It was like taking a black comedian history class. It was like if you don't know what the hell these people are talking about, you're just kind of chilling. But for us, it was like a civics class. We were like, I fucking knew it.
But it's like an advanced civics class. Because black people know of like Def Jam in general, of like what if somebody says a Def Jam comic now, they know what that means. But like you didn't really see the Def Jam comics. You never watched Comic View.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, listen, Comic View was the shit for a lot of people. Like,
yeah.
I've had so many people get angry because I'm like, I don't know much about Carlin, but I can tell you a couple of Gary O. Like that's my equivalent. Like that's my white guy that I saw a lot because I watched Comic View, and that was one of like 2 white dudes on that show. But
yeah.
But it's just crazy to me. Like, this is all the stuff that he's been saying for years. Why is it just now everybody's finally paying attention to it?
Because Kevin Hart's done making Jumanji movies, so so there's just like a chill period where we have nothing going on.
Yeah, no, I think I can't. I was just thinking about the Jumanji movies. I think a lot of it like people, because the way like Katt Williams works is he doesn't get a lot of advertising. He's independent, so you kind of have to know. So like when he comes out, people are like, is he even relevant? And a lot of people think, is he? Like, if you know, yeah, he is. If you don't, then it's some little dude coming out of left field talking about a talk show host and all these other people. So it's, you can't really help but watch it. And then it makes you just research it, because it's a lot of youth out there. So they just go look it up, and then rabbit holes start forming everywhere. So that's where all the excitement comes from, is everybody's finding new information about all these things they didn't know about.
Yeah. Okay, hold on, Jason. I'm sorry, I gotta ask you, Mike. Can I ask you one thing? Did you watch all 2 hours and 40 minutes of it?
I did. I went back. Yeah.
Oh
watched the whole thing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I scanned it. It was like an episode of a good show for me. Like
I did. The upside of the podcast of a video podcast is that it's a podcast still, so I could just kind of like have it on and do things. But I don't know. Some of it was actually interesting. Like some of the outright slanderous stuff he said was hilarious. But I mean, he really had just listen to Katt Williams talk and know that he's not an idiot. I think he's smarter than his comedy even. But that doesn't sell. It was like.
It's just kind of the thing about me is like he's naming names, and that's just, I don't know if that's brave or just bad, or if it's bad taste.
It's narcissistic.
Which is it?
It's narcissistic. Because Katt Williams feels like he feels, and he's never been shy, so he's just gonna talk and he's gonna say names. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And that kind of works in his favor too. Like, if he winds up dead, I mean, now they got people to look for.
It's a real win-win.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose. He sells out his tours. If he stopped comedy right now, he'd be done and he'd be a millionaire. You know, what's he got to lose? Fuck them all. Who cares? He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't care.
He has that benefit of he really is in a good situation, because I think on a weird scale, if you've watched his last couple of specials, you can tell they're kind of not at the level of American Hustle, the days where he came out like Rick Ross. He's starting very chill out and calm down. So I could see this young generation not knowing who the hell he is, and also older generations just being do you want to be right? The whole thing kind of felt to me like when your crazy uncle goes on a rant. It's a mix of conspiracy theories. It's a little homophobic, and then he throws in some stuff to where I'm like, well, you're not wrong. Well, what was that other stuff he said? Yeah,
you just not say that, Grandpa. He's got
it was fun. Those were the rants of an old straight dude.
He's like an old retired white dude. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I made my money. Huh? What, are you gonna fire me? He's that dude.
You can't put me in a dress. I'm like, listen, man, there's a couple of skinny bisexual dudes that'll take that dress happily.
Yeah.
Because it does feel a lot like somebody who is like you said, he's got money. He could quit right now and be well off for the rest of his life. And it sounds to me like somebody that's at he knows he's probably at the end of his career, and he's got nothing to lose, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to take all y'all down before I retire.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing. I don't feel, what's the good retirement age for a comedian? Like, can we discuss that? Like, as comedians, like
I mean, it depends on your level, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't really think there is, because you can be, I mean, you can be old if you're still fun. I mean, Lewis Black still does stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, still funny,
I don't think
some of them should retire now, like in their 30s.
I think it's probably time to retire when you stop being funny and you start getting preachy. That's when it starts to be time to retire.
When you start feeling like things are something.
So Dennis Miller.
What's
his name?
Just start dropping names.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't know me. Who's your boy? Whose name I can't remember now? From you know what? My brain's terrible. Jim
one
Brewer.
thing, yeah.
Jim Brewer's
I think Tekk is taking off at the airport right now.
They're coming for me because I said Dennis.
I live in a lovely city. Like a comedy GTA character sometimes in Tallahassee. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, but that's actually a pretty good question. Like, what comedian out right now is like it should be time to retire?
I think it's weird though, because there's a lot of older dudes that like just start out that I've met who were like, "How long are you doing comedy?" He's like, "About 2 years." I'm like, "But you're 60 something."
After my wife died of cancer, I decided to. Okay, cool, man. Keep going.
All right. Is that what your set's about? Because I gotta follow you, and I'm gonna be bummed out. Like,
yeah, but I don't think funny has an age to it. I mean, you can be old as shit and be funny as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's also
you're right.
Like
when you start getting preachy though, and like yeah.
Because if you're doing stand up and like I said, if you get to the point where you're just preaching at people and you're not really crafting jokes anymore, which is, I hate to say this, I mean, I feel like Dave Chappelle's kind of at that point where he's just preaching and he's not really.
Oh yeah, he's just sharing opinions now. He's not really even making a joke, but he's like, "I'm Dave Chappelle, so everything equals funny."
Yeah, I don't even like Dave Chappelle. I don't think he's doing spoken word to some extent. He's doing like a jazz version of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just him. It's just him. Yeah, he knows he has a platform to do and say what he wants, and people are going to watch. It's just guys done the comedy.
It's like, but the weird thing about Dave Chappelle is I feel after a point, he has now accepted the fact that people are going to find him funny no matter what he says. So he's okay. Like I think it was a couple specials ago. He was like, sometimes I'll just make the punchline and then try to throw stuff together to make the rest of the joke. And I'm like, that can't be how the fuck that's supposed to work. Is that what happens after you craft it for so long? And I'm like, I can't see it. But I also see comedy all the time where I'm like, I can never do that, but also good for you. Because there's stories about Dave Chappelle doing like 6-hour sets, and I can't imagine that being like fun for any person, like at any point of an experience. And now I'm just like, okay, I mean, do you, man, get your 10,000 hours, but that's not for me. I got to check out sometimes. Like,
yeah, I don't think there's anybody I want to listen to talk for 6 straight hours. I don't think there's anybody.
No,
I can't think of it.
Dude, that's both the Avengers movies.
I can't think of both of those without getting up. I gotta check my phone at some point. Damn it.
Yeah, I think once you give a comedian the Mark Twain award, that's when they pretty much just get to the point where, okay, everything I say is important now.
It's like, I'm fucking killing it.
Right, but he knows that, and like I I think that's kind of part of his joke to keep himself entertained. I think that's a lot of it when you should kind of chill out is when you're no longer really concerned about the audience. You're just kind of making yourself laugh. And I think he's kind of at that point or getting real close to that where he's just like, what am I do for me?
Yeah, it's like, this one's for me.
Yeah, something else.
A lot of them like
that. I needed some comedian friends to talk about this with. They did something else weird happened this week where I don't know if you've ever heard of the Doozy podcast. It's got Will Sasso and a guy named Chad Kultgen. And Will Sasso is from Mad TV. I don't know if you guys remember him from Mad TV. Well, they have this podcast called Doozy, and they have an AI called Doozy that runs the podcast. And there's sort of a heavy winking and nod that the Doozy AI is not real. It's actually just them and like a secret third person pretending that there's this super, AI running the show and does all this shit. Well, this last week, the Doozy, quote, AI put out a George Carlin AI special, and it caught fire. People angry about this special being out. Even George Carlin's daughter got on social media and was talking about how AI will never replace her father and all this stuff. Well, it's not really an AI. It's really just those three guys that basically maybe wrote most of the jokes.
Voice modded or some shit.
Yeah, they voice modded it to sound like George Carlin, and they probably ran the whole set through like Chat GPT to make it sound like Carlin. So, and everybody's angry that like it's, they're shitting on Carlin's memory and like AI and all this shit. What do you guys feel about that? Because I wasn't offended by it because I know the whole backstory that it's the like I feel like I'm in on the joke of it.
Yeah.
But everybody else is so fucking angry about it, and it's like it's not real. It's not a real AI.
Listen, I heard Hank Hill saying Neo earlier today. AI covers are everywhere. Like, at some point, we have to accept that comedians, we feel special. So there's some stuff we feel like there shouldn't be done for comedians. I think AI covers is probably one of those things to where I'm like, so like on one hand, I can understand it because like Carlin's passed away and his daughter like wanted her father's memory to hold. But at the same time, I also feel like them saying it's just a third guy is just to make people comfortable. Because how terrifying would it be if like robots and AI was starting to kill it, like with comedy? Because if you listen to that special, like those are great Carlin jokes. Like it's not like the robot was like bombing. Like I even giggled at a couple of them. So like I think it'd be better if they wrote like a bombing set. But the fact that they wrote a good one is absolutely terrifying. It's just I think that's a South Park episode where the robot like makes up funny jokes and he gets famous for being funny. I'm like, it's cool.
But like I think it was Jokebot, but at least Jokebot was still like a robot, which was the point where it was funny. But the AI is I think it's scary for people in general to be like, hey, you know that thing you think you're special at? Nah, you're not. This computer can take your whole life, even when you're dead. And I think that just scares a lot of people. I mean, it is. I don't know. I think it's weird in general. I think AI and stuff is just, I don't know. I'm a little at that age where it's just like, computers, scary. But
yeah, Terminator really fucked us up.
It really did. Skynet is here. It is here.
Yeah, Skynet fucked us up because we're in that generation where we're like, oh, the phones are listening. And I'm like, yeah, but the phones are fucking listening, dude. Like, that's a concern.
Yeah, I mean, the concern for me is when like these people are like, hey, phones are listening. They're like, ha ha ha. I'm like, you never watched They Live. You didn't watch the Terminator movies. you don't even know.
Right? Like you 5 John Connor movies and y'all ain't learned shit. If you don't unplug your Alexa.
Yeah, but I mean, they even put at the beginning that, you know, this was because the story behind it is the AI doozy loves that Will Sasso does impressions, because he does impressions of like the Macho Man and who else does he do? He does like Hulk Hogan. Yeah, he does like all these impressions.
Yeah, he does a good Stone Cold.
And the doozy AI like loves that he does impressions, so the AI wanted to do one himself. So that's what he did with the George Carlin, you know, AI special, was he did an impression of George Carlin. And that was kind of the joke behind it, as that was an AI doing an impression.
See, that's even scarier.
But that's the thing. It's not really the super intelligent AI. It's really just them and like a secret. Because I listen to the show and I watch it, and I think it's one of the best podcasts out there. But there is a heavy element of, you know, this ain't real. It's like watching wrestling. It's kayfabe. You know it's not real, but you just have fun, like, pretending it's real.
Yeah. It's like a what if episode.
But
I mean that is less scary. Yeah, it's still weird. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of the future. I'm scared of face swaps. I'm scared of face swaps and all those things. I've been scared since I saw Jim Carrey be put into The Shining, and I was like, that's too accurate. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with AI, I want AI to take all the shit jobs and not do all the ones, the creative jobs.
You want like robots like picking up trash and shit? Like,
yeah, let them pick up the trash and like, you know, clean toilets and shit. I don't want them like
that's iRobot.
These arts alone.
Yeah, we don't want robots like writing songs and shit and, you know, doing actual comedy specials. We don't really want that, but I don't know.
Did you guys not watch iRobot? I feel like you guys didn't watch iRobot.
No. Oh, I watched iRobot, and I am.
It's like I've never identified with Will Smith more than when he like gave a stranger a pie, and he was like, "Hey, don't eat my fucking pie."
I don't know. It's just like 2024 shaping up to be it's going to be a weird year the way it started with the George Carlin thing, and especially the Katt Williams thing. It's like we've already had all this early in the year. Like what's going to happen next?
This is like white Illuminati of vengeance for last year, because like all the crazy shit white people went through. So they're like, the blacks need to catch up. We're going to get Katt Williams out there to say some crazy shit. Where's Kanye? Like, get that convict to jump on that white judge. We need to.
Dude, what the hell was that about, man? Dude, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He cleared that whole freaking that podium. How?
Yeah,
how did that happen?
I want to know that dude's backstory. I want to know his backstory.
Like seriously,
did he even know he could do that? Like,
like when he cleared it, he was like, "Oh shit, I made it."
Yeah, he didn't get a chance to punch her because he was so surprised. Like, oh, well, shit.
Damn. I could have been a jumper. I'm definitely going to jail now. Like this was too late to learn this skill.
Yeah, no shit. Like, damn, I didn't know I could do the high jump. Damn, I should have done that in high school.
It's like, all I'm saying is if I'm outside a courtroom and I see a dude like stretching and shit, I know shit's going down in that court. It's like, oh, this dude's getting ready.
I mean, that dude looked like he had a springboard at the front of the podium there.
Yeah. And it's really letting you know how many, like, who your, like, felon friends are. Because they're like, dude, those things are, like, really high. I'm like, you've been in a couple courtrooms, haven't you, buddy? Like, it's like, yeah, I've always wanted to jump it, but, like, it's super up there. Like, that dude got 8 inches of lift with no pole vault. Like,
at my chest. It's at my chest. He cleared it fully.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think he had on a fresh pair of Jordans is what was happening right there.
Like, if they turn that into an Air Force One commercial, magic.
It's gotta be the shoes.
Oh, dude, you should make a
Be Like Mike commercial.
You should make a Nike commercial and just put that dude in slow motion going over the podium, and there's Nike.
Did you not make your probation? Just do it.
It just be just did it. That's why he got convicted.
He's him and Kane just like just did it. I just air.
Oh man. So just kind of go around the room, Mike. This is your first time on the show. Tell everybody a little about yourself and how long you been doing comedy?
Way too long. I've honestly lost track. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're actually funny out here. I've been doing comedy. I started doing improv like I guess 20 years ago. I've been doing stand-up somewhere over 15 now, I guess, years. Long time. Yeah, that's it. I do comedy. I do it here mostly. I travel the coast. I go a couple places and here and there. Like with if I go on a vacation, I try and do stand-up there and I make it count. Yeah, I have an album. It's on all the things. Yeah, so comedy.
Awesome. What we usually talk about here on the show is it is called the Open Micers Podcast. Do you remember your first night doing open mic?
I do, yeah. A million years ago. I remember at my first, like I was doing improv. One of the guys in the group we had was he was just starting at stand up. He had been doing it a few months, and he told me you should come out. So I started going out to the club, the bar, whatever we had. We just had one place. So yeah, I went there. I took, spent a couple weeks taking it in, and then decided to go up. And yeah, I'm still active.
How did that first show go? Did you go over well or did you bomb?
It went over pretty well. But part of it was like I wasn't new. Like I knew most of the people in the scene without actually doing stand up. They at least knew I was funny in some way.
Yeah.
And then I think I think I did pretty well. It wasn't gut busting, but it was good. I got good laughter, enough to make me keep doing it. So,
well, coming from improv probably made it a little bit easier than just going up, never having done anything like that before.
Yeah, I didn't even know stand up was a thing in town. I found it. There was the one place, and then just started going more and more, coming up with more jokes. I had the first couple of weeks I did the same joke a couple times, every night, and then started writing more and figuring out how that worked. I've had some garbage shows, I know that, but don't we all?
So what about you, Tekk? I know we've had you on the show before, but I don't think we've ever asked you what your very first open mic experience was like.
Oh my God, it was so awful.
It was a traumatic experience, man. I 100% remember every detail. There was a drunk guy that heckled the host the entire show, and then and he was jacked. Dude had to be 6'5", 6'6", and he was yelling at the crowd in Spanish with his wife. And this was literally 30 seconds before I went up, and I wish I had done improv, but this was the second time I had been through. So I was just I was insanely just this is not my normal experience. So when that dude got escorted out, the host came back on and he was like, all right, we're sorry about that. Now here's your next comedian. It's his first time on. Here's Tekk Johnson. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? So yeah. I had a 5-minute set, and the first minute I just was like, so we're not going to talk about that? No one said anything. Did that dude just put a curse on us? And I didn't realize it was my first riff line, but it was. And I got a laugh, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is not as bad. because in my mind, for some reason, I had anxiety. So I was assuming, like, I'd say 2 sentences, and then, like, someone would be like, "Boo this man!" Like, I assumed I was going to catch a tomato in the face or some shit. Like, because that's about, you don't have, like, a middle ground. You're either killing it or you're being booed with bottles and shit thrown at you. So when I had, like, a good experience, like, my first 5, I did really good. I was like, okay, this was cool. But also, this was the most terrifying experience of my fucking life. And it was cool, though. I kept coming back. Like Mike, we only had, like, one place. So you didn't have a choice. If you wanted to do a set, you had to do birds. There were no other options. Now there's, now there's like 5 or 6 different places. But that first room, it teaches you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I did birds once. Like, hell yeah! So you know the trauma.
Where's that at? I've never heard of that before. That place.
It's Bird's Aphrodisiac Oyster Shack. It's like it's a hell of a name. You try to tell it to a person when you're half drunk, it's not fun. But yeah, man, they've been doing their Wednesday night show for about 10 years now. No, longer than that. It's been about 11 or 12 years. Because I know they were running for a long time before the pandemic, and then they like rebooted the show. So yeah, Birds has been going for a while. It's like our longest running place. I still do sets there because it's one of those rooms where you think it's going to be easy, but it's like a lot of work. So it's a really good gym workout now. And it's fun though. I feel like every comedian remembers that first room that's like, oh, this isn't easy as like I was hoping it would be, but it's definitely something I would like to work at. And as opposed to like those rooms where you're like, I quit. Like it's like I fucking hate comedy. Like I drove 3 hours to be booed.
Isn't that the best?
It's so good. Like that's the longest drive home.
Yeah.
You need that though. You need that. That is humbling. You come in hot like these people don't know me. I'm about to give them all this, and you get there and they're like, no, and you just like, huh? Well, see y'all later, and you just leave.
What about you, Mike? What's the worst bomb you've ever, like the kind of bomb where it just makes you be like, I'm never doing this again?
Oh man, there've been. I've never really been booed. I've been heckled to the point that the audience was on the heckler side, and that's no fun. So the whole crowd just joins in his hatred for everything. So, yeah, I've never really had I've had shit rooms. Nobody's ever booed me. I've had a guy. It was an old. I did some joke that he deemed racist because he was a white guy. And old. He's an old white dude, and he just got mad. I said something about how the Klan was stupid, and he got mad, which was like, that's the wrong move. So he tried to come at me, but like he apparently pissed off everybody in this bar that night, and so him coming for me was their excuse to beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
And
that's good.
And
shit.
They did.
That's something.
Oh yeah. Those are fun. I always have something. It's always something, some little weird dive bar. This was like in like Biloxi, I think. Some snowbird old bastard came through and was just being drunk. That one was weird. I don't remember it much beyond him trying to come after me. Yeah, but no N-word. He didn't call me that. That was good on his part, I guess. He wasn't that stupid.
I wish you could remember what place it was.
It was. Can't remember it, but yeah, it was somewhere like on the Mississippi, like Gulf Shores or something.
Huh.
Yeah, in Alabama actually, that's what it was. Yeah, it was Gulf Shore. No, it was Gulfport in Mississippi. I get those confused.
Yeah. What about you, Tekk?
I don't remember the name of it.
What's the worst, the absolute worst bomb you've ever had?
What? It was after I had gotten off of a 3-month stretch of doing really good at every show I had hit, so I had gotten false confidence, and I got invited to the South Side, and it's a new place that was called Mojo's, and it's a different type what I'd been doing college places and all that shit for 3 months. So I had just been really comfortable in my shit. This was my first time doing a room that turned out to be all drug dealers. There was not a single person who was not counting money and eating barbecue before this show started.
Nice.
And I remember going on, and about 3 minutes into my set, I could tell I was doing so bad because I could hear someone chewing in the back of the room. There were 15 people in this room, but I could hear this dude being like, these are good. Just remember my soul hurting. And this old woman who was serving drinks in the back, I could hear her say, "Baby, are you sure this is what you want to do?" And I could hear that. When I heard it, I was just like, damn, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do right now, because this is bad. I didn't know silence could feel like this. I didn't know I could be please boo me.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse.
Silence is worse.
Is it worse than having somebody actually just heckle you to death?
I'll take that any day. You can heckle me. Just don't just complete silence. It's like getting the silent treatment from a loved one, where it's just
yes,
what's going on? What are we doing? I have no idea. At least if you boo me, you hate me. I can figure that out. But
thank you.
Quiet.
At least booing shares an opinion.
Yeah.
Silence just means I did nothing.
Yeah, serial killers are quiet. You know what I mean? That's what are you gonna do? You want to fight me, or you just hate me? Am I gonna make you kill yourself? What are we doing? There's so much in silence.
Yeah, Mushmouth in the chat room.
They're I don't care for you.
Mushmouth in the chat room. He says an indifferent audience is 1,000 times worse than a booing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever suffered a complete silent audience before. I've been heckled to death, but I don't think I've ever had a completely silent audience before.
Yeah, no, I have. It's brutal.
Yeah, it sucks. I think Mike talked about it earlier, where he was I would 100% rather have a boo than silence, because that shit sucks. Because silence just means I don't care for you. Move along. At least a boo shares an opinion. That gives me something I can rate my shit on. All right, I can go home and work on this because it didn't work. Silence means you don't care for me. You don't want my presence to be near your presence, and that shit is an emotional jab.
Silence can range from I hate you to I'm trying to be nice. I don't know what to say. That whole, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Say something. Just anything. Throw something. That's an emotion. Silence is no good for me.
I don't know. I feel like if you get the silent treatment, that's got to be at something that's sort of being at a bar and grill or something, and people don't know that comedy is happening, and so they start an open mic show, and people are trying to eat, and you're just up there trying to tell jokes, and they're just what is happening? Why is this going? I just want to eat my ribs in peace, and will this guy shut up, please?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
A room full of 60 people that only want oysters do not give a shit. I will take 12 people that want to see comedy any day over a room full of people who are I'm just here for lobster and burgers. Please shut up. I don't want to hear about your grandma.
I'm sure you have this thing too, Tech, of just you live in a football town. You doing shows on a Saturday night. No go.
Oh my God.
No. And like I have, there's LSU here, and LSU's a bunch of lunatics anyway. So we pretty much don't have anything on Saturday nights, and if we do, it's like these people are. Why are you interrupting my football and my binge drinking?
Oh yeah, like FSU fans are just like that. So now we've had to like move stuff around. Like not football season, not so bad. During football season, if it's a late game, we're not getting any fucking jokes out. Like people do not give a shit about comedy unless they are a bunch of people who are friends of comedians or care more about comedy than they do about football. But we'll still have those loud ass people at the bar who are like, damn it, we missed the touchdown. But it's like in the middle of a silent part of your joke, so it'll fuck it up. Like, I never thought college football would like taint my like comedy career, but it definitely has made it like, I don't like November.
And especially when you got a team that wins games, so you got a good team, and that's Baton Rouge's personality though, is LSU football. So, and now like we have the women's basketball team, and they're picking up a lot of popularity. So, since they won the national championship, so people don't LSU go Tigers. That's all I ever get. So
what I want to know is
I learned to work around.
You live in Baton Rouge. The traffic is already like the worst. One of the worst cities for traffic. When there's a football game happening, like, do you even just not even leave your house? Like, I can't even imagine you can get anywhere.
No, if I live 20 minutes away from campus. I actually work on campus, but that's that's the week during the week. But the weekend, I don't go near LSU. It doesn't make I don't get on the interstate because that's everybody after that game. They turn all the streets around the campus become one ways for contraflow. So you can't. I mean, everything's full. No go. I don't do it because I've had I used to go to LSU. I mean, for years. If you after that game, you are going to be sitting in traffic at least an hour and a half to leave campus.
Because that's the thing. I've been to Baton Rouge probably dozens of times, or at least driven through there. Like, that's some of the worst. Like, I have never been through Baton Rouge and not been in at least a 20 to 30 minute traffic jam. Ever.
Yep. No, it's I'm frustrated with it too. Always been here. Luckily for me, I'm here, so I know how to get around, but it's a poorly planned city. I'll say that straight up. It is. The infrastructure's bad because it's one of these towns that started small. It thought it wanted to be small. It started expanding. So instead of planning it better, they're just let's put this here and make it connect here. It's but that's not a good spot. Nah, that's all we can do. So it's these little pods of garbage that doesn't connect well, but still connects if you got the time. So the traffic's always bad.
Yeah, God forbid if you're trying to get anywhere in Baton Rouge and you miss your exit, you're just well, I guess I got to drive for another 2 freaking hours before I can find where I'm supposed to go again.
I was excited to make a trip that way, but not so much anymore. You guys,
it's fine. You can go through Baton. I mean, New Orleans.
Don't try to make up for it now.
No, I'll never say Baton Rouge traffic is good. I live it. It's trash. I wouldn't advise it. Yeah, because a lot of it too here is that people live on these outskirt towns, the white flight towns. Let's be honest. So, but these people still work in Baton Rouge. So and they're the ones who complain most about the traffic, which is hilarious. I'm you're the traffic.
Yeah,
you're the problem.
Exactly. So, I mean, come to Baton Rouge, guys.
I used to play over there. I've never done comedy there, but I used to play there with my band all the time. There's a pool hall, right? I can't remember the name of it. It's right there off the interstate. Why can't I not? Because there was they always have used to have.
Oh, you're talking about Clicks.
Clicks, that's it. Yeah, I used to play there all the time. Yeah, that was a pretty cool place.
Sorry, spell that.
Clicks, CLICK.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
The strip club's down the street.
Oh, you thought?
I was like, that's a wild name.
It's like that place has a band. Jesus, what a crazy place.
Oh man.
I was like, that's a bold name. That's crazy. Clicks makes way more sense. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Tech, it's been good to talk. It's been good to talk with you again, man. Like, it's been a long time since we've done a show together. I don't even remember the last time we did a show together.
Dude, I think it was that one in Panama City. Like,
probably was.
I swear I feel like my spirit is sometimes on probation because I have a hard time leaving Florida sometimes. Like, it's fucking bad. I have so many chances to where I'm like, oh, come to Georgia. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. It's fun. I know I need to branch out and get out more, but also Florida is like fucking Elden Ring, man. Like, it's just a big ass map of shit to do. So I keep wanting to go out there and do other shit. So whenever you guys talk about traffic and shit, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Orlando outside of Disney. Like, oh, okay, this won't be that bad. Like, it'll be a little terrible, but like, it's Florida. Like, it's kind of the fun thing. But yeah, man, we haven't done that show since like Panama City, which I tell you guys all the time, like, please bring your asses out here. I run a room now, so like I can invite people and my parents are out of town. Like, I can have a party.
We'll definitely come back out that way because I'm with you. I think I did one of my best shows and one of my worst shows. The first one that I ever met you at was in Pensacola at some kind of Irish bar. I don't remember the name of it. There was like an Irish pub.
Like O'Malley's or some shit?
Must have been
like
something
O'Reilly's.
Like
no?
I don't remember. But that was a great show. It was me, you, Compton, Jacob, and I forgot who else was there. And then the bad show was that place, that bar in Panama City, where we were talking about it before the show. What's the name of that place in Panama City?
Which one? Is it like the pool hall like place?
Yeah, it's that pool hall. It's like a half nerd bar, half pool hall.
Fuck. What is it? It's like, I can't remember it. It used to be a line in one of my jokes, and now I can't remember it for the life of me.
I don't know if you've ever been to this place in Panama City, Mike. They do a lot of comedy shows there, but it was interesting to say the least because, like I said, a fight broke out like literally 30 seconds before the show started. Like, we were getting on stage, the 30 seconds before the show starts, dudes start fighting like 10 feet away, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening? And then the show
was like a really awesome Welcome to Florida.
Yeah. And it's like bikers and like they're there to play pool. They are not there to hear comedy and get the hell out of here, jokey boy. We want to play pool.
I know this show. I mean, I know that vibe. Like, we get a lot. I don't know. Our big like hangout spots here is pool halls, but it's daiquiri shops. So I mean, it's the same thing. We have frozen delicious drinks over here and pool. And how dare you interrupt that? That's where we get our fights when people are drinking large cups of, frozen margaritas or White Russians.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, man,
honestly, if I walk into a gig and I see someone drinking a White Russian, I know I got to throw away like 10 minutes of comedy. It's like, all right, let's reformat this lineup because that drink says you're not going to like it, like, very much.
But that show we were at, Jacob, I think he just stopped his set like in the middle. He was booked for like a 15-minute set and just stopped in the middle of it. It was like, you guys don't want to hear any of this, so I'm done. And there was a drum set on stage, so I just got up on stage and did a drum solo for like 10 minutes, and everybody's like, yay!
It's like, Def Leppard! Hell yeah, brother! Like, yeah, dude. There's some shows literally.
That is jingling the keys to children. That is the equivalent of that, and it works, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
It was a strange night. It was probably one of the strangest shows I've ever done. And it's always Florida. Why is everything like that always Florida?
Because we're on hard, baby. We're like doing fucking comedy in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, no shit. God damn it, that's true. Florida is
dude. It's
Florida's
so
the
great.
Thunderdome of America, is what it is.
Like, I tell people that shit all the time. I'm like, listen, if you can do comedy here, I don't think a dude in North Carolina is going to be able to touch you. Like, you're fine. A guy in Tampa will whip a fucking squirrel at you. Like, you're going to do great in Denver, Colorado.
Because there's levels to Florida, too. Like, I mean, like, Tallahassee isn't the same as, like, a Jacksonville, and that's not the same as Panama, and that's not the same as Pensacola, but it's all crazy towns. Like,
yeah. It's like a level of crazy.
Shit.
Like,
all levels of crazy that don't relate. It doesn't make sense, but it's amazing.
So everybody out there listening, if you've never done comedy before and you think you want to try comedy, go to Florida and try it out for a little bit. If you can survive Florida, you can survive anywhere.
Yeah, come down.
To hell what New York said. New York is a liar. Go to Florida.
Thank you. It's like, oh yeah, you think you have a hard time doing comedy in the park? Try having a homeless dude's pit bull sniff your ball sack while you're trying to work on your new 10. Like, come to Florida, baby. Let's see if that 30 minutes is really spitting or if those people are just being nice to you. Like,
can you beat meth? I don't know if you can.
No.
But yeah, dude, there's only one place to train to yell at a meth head, baby.
Yeah.
Like, and that's Florida. Like, or Flow Rider, as the drunk folks call it. Like, but yeah, man, I love it here. It's so great. I tell people all the time, I have a joke that people think is a joke, where I'm like, I don't know if you think you're funny, but I know I'm kind of funny because last week I got a tip of $10 and crack. And people think that's a fucking joke. That is not a joke. A man literally outside of Lori Morgan's Chicken Shack walked up to me while I smoked a cigarette, and he goes, "Damn, man, that was funny." And he hands me a $10 bill, and inside that $10 is 2 little crack rocks.
What?
And he was already gone, dude. He was already gone by the time I unrolled the 10. So I'm just like, I'm like, dude,
he was mad when he got home.
He was wrong 10.
That's why he had 2 rocks.
Yeah,
you ruined his day.
Like, I 100% think that. I'm like, I don't know if you gave me crack on purpose. You couldn't have, but if you did, that's a wild thing to be like, hey man, it's time to fuck up your career. Like,
dude, you're gonna be sitting you're gonna be sitting there at a red light one day, and just some crackhead's gonna come running up to the car. Hey, motherfucker, you the guy that took my crack rocks?
You, give me my shit. You still got my crack?
That's my wife's birthday.
That was 2 years ago, my guy. I threw that shit on the sidewalk because it's jerk.
Oh, he's dead now, for sure. For sure.
Oh, there's no way he's still alive. You're right. But
no.
Well, gentlemen,
let's get to the point of giving away crack.
We're getting close to the end of the episode. I think I did a pretty good job for being the only host tonight. I wish Jacob could have been here to talk, so we could make fun of him. I didn't have anybody to make fun of tonight, so it was kind of a weird episode for me.
Tell me you missed out on your best behavior.
Yeah. But Mike, tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
I'm on the socials, Mike Honore. I just kicked my camera. I did. Instagram, Mike_Honore. I have my album. It's called Splenda Afternoon. It's on all the streaming platforms. It's really good. I'm not really braggy, but I really like that. Y'all know Jason Leonard. He produced it. He recorded it for me.
Well, that's awesome.
High quality. Wow. So check it out. It's on all the streaming things, whatever you prefer. Splenda Afternoon. It's my face. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Come through Baton Rouge and enjoy the traffic and the comedy.
Well, what about you, Tech? Where can everybody find you on the internet?
Well, let's see. You can find my legitimate comedy pages at comedian Tech Johnson, comedian_Tech Johnson on Instagram. TEKK is how you spell my name. I feel a lot of people have been spelling it wrong, which could be on me for trying to be catchy and naming myself after a fucking video game like an idiot. And then Facebook. Thank you. Me and Mike are friends now. I was like, are we going to see Black Panther 3 together? Absolutely. And then, like, what? I guess I'll put out, like, Twitter is just like Coco Chainsaw 420. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Come to Tallahassee. There isn't as much traffic, but you may get stabbed. But we do have comedy.
And they have crackheads, too, that'll give you a $10 bill with some crack rocks in there. So.
That's just Florida, man.
I'll see you in a month. Oh, man. What a deal. What a deal.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you all on the show tonight. We'll have you back on again soon. And let me tell everybody where they can get a hold of us. You can email us at OpenMicersPodcast@gmail.com. We're at Linktr.ee/OpenMicersPodcast, where you can go to all our socials. You can give us money over there. We got a Cash App and a PayPal, all that cool stuff over there. Go to BResCoffeeCo.com. Use our code OMPodcast for 15% till the end of January off your order. And we love you guys, and we will see all of you next week. All right, and thank you guys for watching on YouTube.